I've wanted to see Bride for ages because it had great trailers, great hype. It was a fascinating premise, and Maggie Gyllenhaal was a really good actress. So I thought, hey, her directing a cast including Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, Peter Sarsgaard, Penelope Cruz, Annette Bening, Christian Bale, and Jessie Buckley. I mean, like, sign me up. And then I watched it and I was like, don't know what this is. It's a fascinating movie in every possible regard, but it's also quite a weird movie, especially from the start. So there's going to be spoilers here on in, so you just want to know my general thoughts of it. 3 out of 5. That's my review. It's good. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's very weird. Sometimes it's not great. But overall, it's a good movie, and there's a lot of interesting things from it. The only downside is that it really does feel 2 things come across. 1, it feels like 10 movies jammed into 1. And 2, as I late learned and I suspected, this was reshot and re-edited and cut ribbons quite a bit. So what you've got is kind of a functional movie, but also there's lots of elements which are underexplored. There's lots of elements which are overexplored. There's a bit of tone shift. It's not clear at all times who the protagonist is, because it should be the bride played by Jessie Buckley, but sometimes it morphs more Christian Bale, and it's not quite a fluid hop between them. But overall, it's a good movie. Before spoilers, you're in the right place. So, this movie starts with Mary Shelley in the afterlife wanting to make a sequel to Frankenstein. So she possesses a woman named Ida, and Ida has an accident, in inverted commas, dies, and then is half. It's a third Mary Shelley, a third Ida, and third amnesiac named Bride. And the problem there is that then we meet Frankenstein. So the story of Frankenstein happened, but Ida is a real person, and Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein book, but apparently Frankenstein's real. So it's not immediately clear whether this is Mary Shelley's imagination, or whether she's actually possessing someone. But if she is, then someone lives in the universe where Frankenstein's real, so it's a bit fucking confusing in that regard. But then it gets more madder, because the trailer's made out to be kind of boiling like prestige, but also it does feel more in line with the themes of Frankenstein, the novel, and kind of a loose sequel, but also that reworking of the Bride of Frankenstein, but also a pastiche on the Joker from a female perspective of sort of like criminals and inspiring revolutions, but also that's not really explored, but also an ode to classic Hollywood, but also not, also deconstruction of how females are treated in society and movies. So it's all of those things at once, and it's never any of those things to a completely satisfying level, but interesting movie. I think my only real downside to it is that, like, why really didn't like Begonia at all. I like Poor Things by the same director, and I think that to me is a masterpiece, and I feel this is a fascinatingly flawed movie, because it really does feel like it was torn apart and put back together. But Jessie Buckley is incredible, Kristen Bell is good, Jessie Buckley still goddamn solo, but I do feel like there's a movie here. Now, if the studio hadn't listened to test audience screen this, because test audiences don't really know what they talk about, and they easily get confused, this could be something better. It feels like it's trying to please too many people, and it doesn't. But again, Jessie Buckley's great. She's had an amazing year, being the best thing in decent movies. So definitely recommend go watch it, but it's not quite what you think it's going to be, but it's good. It's a good movie, and given some of the shit I've seen recently, that's encouraging. So definitely go watch it.